Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we are going to learn one of the easiest topics in German grammar, German adverbs. Let's start with a very simple example. Ich spreche. That simply means I speak. Now let's add one more word. I speak slowly. Ich spreche langsam. The word langsam tells us how I speak. It gives us extra information about the verb. That's exactly what an adverb does. An adverb describes how, when, where, or how much something happens. Think of adverbs as words that makes your sentences more interesting. Now here is the best part. German adverbs are incredibly easy because they never change their form. No matter who is speaking, no matter which case you're using, the adverb always stays exactly the same. Let's compare these two sentences. First, der langsame Mann spricht. Here, langsame comes before the noun Mann, so it's an adjective. Because it's an adjective describing a noun, it needs an ending. Now let's look at the second sentence. Der Mann spricht langsam. Here langsam does not describe the man. It describes the verb spricht. So now it's an adverb. And as you can see, there is no ending. It's just langsam and not langsame or langsames or langsamer. The first category is called adverb of manner. These answer the question how, wie. Let's look at some common examples. Schnell, langsam, laut, leise, gern or gerne. This one is very common in German. Instead of saying I like, German often use gern. For example, ich trinke gern Kaffee, I like drinking coffee. Then we have zusammen and allein. Whenever you're describing how an action happens, you're using an adverb of manner. The next category is adverb of time. These answer the question when, in German wann. Some of the most common ones are heute, morgen, jetzt, später, immer, nie und morgens. Notice the difference between morgen meaning tomorrow and morgens meaning every morning or in the mornings. The little s changes the meaning. Next, the time adverb are extremely common, so you will hear them in almost every German conversation. Next, we have the adverb of place. They answer the question where, wo. For example, hier, dort, drinnen, draußen. Then we have the adverb of intensity. They answer the question how much. In German, wie sehr. Examples are sehr, ziemlich, total, ein bisschen. These words increase or decrease the strength of what you are saying. For example, sehr schnell, very fast, ein bisschen müde, a little tired. Now we come to one of the most important topics in German sentence structure. If you remember only one thing from today's lesson, remember this. German often follows the order time, then manner, then place. TMP, or in German, TK Molo. That stands for temporal, when, causal, why, modal, how, and lokal, where. Let's look at our example. Ich fahre morgen mit dem Zug nach Berlin. Let's break it down. Ich fahre, I'm going. Then comes morgen, which tells us when. That's the time. Next, mit dem Zug. This tells us how I'm traveling. By train. That's the manner. M. Finally, nach Berlin. This tells us where, the place, P. So the order is time, manner, place. This pattern appears over and over again in German. Now, let's look at the one common source of confusion. The same German word can sometimes function as an adjective and sometimes like an adverb. For example, das Auto ist schnell. Here schnell comes after the verb ist. It describes the action. How? Schnell. Notice that there is no ending. It's simply schnell, not schnelles, not schneller, not schnelle. Now compare with das ist ein schnelles Auto. Now schnelles comes before the noun Auto. Whenever an adjective comes before a noun, it's need an ending. Now let's look at the third example. Das ist ein unglaublich schnelles Auto. Here unglaublich describes the adjective, so it is an adverb. In other verbs, it tells us how fast the car is. Because unglaublich function as an adverb here, it also stays unchanged, no ending. Only schnelles gets an adjective ending because it comes before the noun. If there was no schnelles, only unglaubliches, like das ist ein unglaubliches Auto, then the unglaublich needs an ending. But here it describes the adjective, so it's an adverb. I hope you understand what I mean. Now it's your turn. Try to build the correct sentences. Remember what you have learned today. Post a video if you need a little more time, then continue and we'll solve everything together. Let's solve the first sentence step by step. We have these words. Trinke, that's our verb. Kaffee, that's our object. It's the thing I'm drinking. Ich is the subject, the person doing the action. Morgens, be careful, that's an adverb of time. It answers the question when. Gern, again, this is also an adverb of manner. It tells us how I drink coffee. In German, it expresses that I enjoy doing it. Now, let's build the sentence. In the normal German main clause, the verb must always be in the second position. If we begin with the subject ich, we get ich trinke morgens gern Kaffee. Notice the order after the verb. Times comes first, morgens, then the manner, gern, and finally the object. But German is flexible. We can also move the time expression to the beginning. Morgens trinke ich gern Kaffee. Now morgens is in the first position. Because something else is first, the verb still stays in the second position. So trinke comes immediately after morgens and ich moves behind the verb. Both sentences are completely correct. Let's solve the second sentence together. First, let's identify each word. Fährt is the verb, it means drive. Is the subject, it's the person doing the action. Now we have three more words. Leider, sehr und langsam. All three are adverbs, but they don't all do the same job. Let's look at them one by one. Leider means unfortunately. It doesn't describe the verb directly. The verb is fährt. Instead, it expresses the speaker's opinion about the whole situation. It tells us that the speaker thinks it's unfortunate that he drives slowly. Next, we have langsam. This is an adverb of manner because it answers the question, how does he drive? He drives slowly. Finally, we have sehr. This word is also an adverb, but it doesn't describe the verb fahren, fährt. Instead, it describes another adverb, langsam. It tells us how slowly he drives. So we have langsam, slowly, sehr langsam, very slowly. Now let's build the sentence. The subject comes first. Fährt leider sehr langsam. The verb fährt must always stay in the second position in a German main clause. After the verb, we put the adverbs. Notice that sehr stays directly in front of langsam because it modifies it. Now let's move leider to the beginning. Leider fährt sehr langsam. This is also completely correct. Since leider is in the first position, The verb still stays in the second position and the subject moves behind the verb. Both sentences are perfectly natural. One simply starts with the subject while the other puts more emphasis on unfortunately. You may be wondering, why do we say leider sehr langsam and not sehr langsam leider? That's a great question. The reason is that leider doesn't describe how he drives. Instead, leider tells us how the speaker feels about the whole situation. The speaker thinks it's unfortunate. So leider comes first because it comments the entire sentence. After that, we describe how he drives. Sehr langsam, very slowly. Think of it like first we give our comment, then we describe the action. That's why German speakers naturally say fährt leider langsam, not fährt sehr langsam leider. Now the last example. Let's identify the words first. Gehen, that's our verb. Wir, that's the subject. Morgen, that's the adverb of time. Ins Kino, that tells where we are going. It's the place or destination. Following our TMP rule, the sentence becomes Wir gehen morgen ins Kino. Time comes before place. We can also begin with the time expression Morgen gehen wir ins Kino. Again, the verb stays in the second position. Once you understand this pattern, German word order becomes much easier. If you enjoyed this lesson and you would like to learn German step by step in a structured way, I have something for you. My complete German A1 course is available now for just 69 euros. The first week is free and the videos and exercises are available on my YouTube playlist. Thank you so much for watching. Viel Spaß beim Deutschlernen!